there's no such thing as criminals. That's the way that the media talks to you, right? There's people who, in a situation, would rather starve than to steal. And then there's people who would rather feed themselves and their family than to follow the rules. And there's not too many of the first category left here, you know. So, there's really just people in bad situations in their life. And there just so happens to be quite a bit of people in that situation now, at least in this country. I still got a job, but it doesn't really pay the bills, There's not much you can do, right? So it's like, I can understand when people can't get a job at all. They can't get social assistance, at least not enough to live comfortably, or anything, really. So there's lots of homeless people now. I go to work for 1 a.m. So I see quite a bit now. As the years go on, since 2020, it's just more and more and more. You can't get mad at the people themselves. It's at least not now. Back in the 90s and the 80s, it's like, like times are different now. Now a lot of people are on the street and they didn't want to be, It wasn't because they became addicted to drugs. It's because their government turned on them. So I saw this thing where the guy was explaining how what you think is just water up there in the sky, like clouds, is actually ether energy, and water vapor gets stuck to it. And people who practice metaphysics know how to, eventually develop the skill to affect the clouds in the sky above them. Create their own individual cloud structures and things like that, and can meditate on making clouds disappear as well. And it got me thinking, if the human mind can affect the sky, right? It's like the things that I'm seeing, right? Like I'm not consciously projecting anything up there for me to record, right, and make a video of that. So what could be happening is that it's my subconscious mind, or the secondary person in control. He's doing it, right? And it's like, how, right? Like, using metaphysics, you learn, the right hemisphere of the brain is God, right? That's the throne of God is there, and anything that you do with your mind to manipulate this place, you're using that part of the brain, right? So, like, it says that the second beast that makes you worship the first beast, right? The first beast is the dragon, and the second beast is the Antichrist, right? Well, what if the Antichrist is there's an actual son of Satan, right? But the Antichrist itself is a spirit that gets inside of you, right? Because like almost all the things I'm seeing, they got like darkened right eyes, right? And it's like, what if he is in me, sitting in the right hemisphere of my brain, sitting in the throne of God, declaring he is God, seeing himself as God, and is projecting these things outward, right? Like specifically just so I will see it, right? And it's like, well, why would, if the Antichrist is a spirit, why would this spirit, for one, want to reveal itself to its host? And for two, like, what is the purpose of seeing these things, right? It's like the things could actually be there, or they literally could be manipulations of the sky using my mind, right? Subconsciously, like I'm not aware of myself doing this, but apparently human beings, talented ones, can do it. So, it makes me think, like, is Satan, or, the unholy spirit, I'm not really sure how that works, is that trying to communicate? Right? It's hard to tell because I still don't know if the giant serpent is God or not. Obviously, you look in the scriptures, it's going to tell you that the dragon is Satan, but it gets very complicated once you look up the dragons and all that, and serpents and the tribe of Dan, and it's like, what if we're all reading it wrong, right? There's a very good possibility that Satan is the only thing that actually exists beyond our point of view, right? Like that's actually God, like his, I don't know, bitter side, his angry side is Satan. I'm not really sure. It's very confusing. And I just saw this thing about Superman, from that show Smallville, and his father's inside of the cradle thing that he was sent to Earth in. And it speaks to him, and it says that it's the memory of his father. His father died, right? And then he goes against him, and he's like, "You're not my father," right? And then the thing attacks him with light, and it burns the sign in his chest. But then you realize, hold on, that's not an S. That's a snake, right? Like, it's very specific in that show, like when the father burns him, right? He holds him upside down, and then he burns the S into his chest. I've been telling you guys for the longest time, like the S is it's a snake, it's a dragon, right? It's a serpent. It's inverted, right? And in the show, it shows him branding him in the chest upside down. So the symbol itself is upside down, and when you flip it upside down, you realize that it's a giant snake inside of the entire pyramid, right? It takes up the whole pyramid. That's how big this thing is, right? In my research of things, I would call it a basilisk, right? Because the name basilisk means crowned snake, right? And I mean, that's what they named St. Peter's Basilica after. Basilica means basilisk, means crowned snake. Plus, like, all the things it shows you in the show, right? In the comic books and everything, he's the one, right? He's the Messiah. He comes with the blood-soaked cape, right? And everything. Like, you know, he doesn't disguise himself to look like a superhero to hide his human identity. He disguises himself as a human to hide his actual identity, which is non-human. You know, and there's an image on the wall behind him, right? It's a snake and a man woven together. So, you know, it's a conundrum, right? Everything they show you is real, just not yet.